Hello, I'm Lizbeth Goodman, Director of the SMARTlab Digital Media Institute and the Magic Game Lab. And I've been invited by Inter.ACT to give you a provocation. So I would like to say to you, imagine a world where young people worked with people of all ages right around the world, and people with disabilities had equal access to technology and forms of creative expression, where access to technology was not just about how fast your broadband link is or whether you can get a good mobile phone signal, but about whether everyone could speak in their own words whenever they wanted to, for whatever reason, and where any tool that was needed for free communication for anyone, for any reason, was available for free. Then imagine a world where artists and technologists work together of their own accord, in and out of office hours, whether or not they are paid by any industry company or university or are truly independent. Everyone struggling for a living in their own weird way in the world economy in which we currently live. But imagine a world where a part of every single person's day was focused on creating means of free creative expression for others that could be shared in an open source model where no company or no individual was earning financially. So there was no other agenda than real collaboration and sharing. I suppose what I really want to say is this world is not that far away. It's all entirely possible. The Creative Commons and open source make it possible. Many large industry companies now, Microsoft and Intel and Cisco, with whom we work, and others, many others, are moving towards some kind of hybrid model where some tools are open sourced for these very kinds of purposes, even as companies must, of course, by the very nature of being companies, support themselves by also selling tools and products. But imagine that a portion of everyone's day, from the head of a major industry company to policymakers and politicians to any of the rest of us, spent even half an hour a day, but every single day, towards some joint effort. And I'd say then, think to yourself how many people you know who spend 3 or 4 hours a day on games. Used to be television, now in some kind of virtual world, maybe making clothes for sale in Second Life, maybe swapping items on eBay, maybe participating in Facebook chats and conversations and posts and blogs of all kinds. But we're spending 3 or 4 hours every single day in those kinds of environments, sometimes for very productive purposes, often just for entertainment or to tune out from the real world. Again, imagine that in those worlds, all of these social networks, all of these media outlets, imagine they all had one joint aim, which was that while in there, while engaging in your making of your clothes in Second Life or you're talking to your friends in Facebook or whatever, that you could spend your time really constructively, still with your community, virtual and real, but doing something that would make a difference to the world. It could be planting trees through the WeForest game. It could be making creative tools accessible through the Interfaces project. It could be helping to find missing and lost children through the Lost and Found project. Because these are all projects that demand not money, but a huge network of volunteers spending time intelligently and with an ethical commitment to collaboration to some greater good. So imagine a world where we could somehow make that, if not mandatory, then desirable for every single person on the earth. And imagine how much faster we would all achieve the social aims that we're trying to get to. That's my provocation. It's entirely possible. And all I really want to leave you with now is some examples of some projects that we've made and developed that aim towards those kinds of real world achievements through engagement in virtual worlds. Not saying that everyone has to engage in these, not saying that necessarily everyone wants to, but it would be a better world if everyone did. So I'd love to hear back from you all about what kinds of projects you might want to make or how you might want to spend your time constructively as artists and technologists in the so-called real world and online. And I hope to hear from you. Thanks.